Hey there, Sorry here. So I finally got around to clearing just the initial clear missions on Empress's Resolution Legend. It wasn't my highest priority. Clash of Wills was a higher priority for me, and I didn't need the rod that everyone's after on this one to get my rank 1 clear. I know that was a big thing. People wanted to get in and get that rod because it has that big 1500 morale fill, and people were taking advantage of it because it's currently bugged, so that it gives 1500 morale not only at the start of battle like it originally intended, but also if the unit revives or brave shifts. So you could potentially get like 4500 morale in a single turn, and so it was like really broken at that point. Gumi's going to fix that this week. So after this week's maintenance, it is only going to give 1500 morale at the start of battle, and that's it. That's how it was originally intended. But yeah, so after I finished Clash of Wills and got all that taken care of, and so I finally got around to it this week, to taking care of this trial. And so I figured I'd show you guys how I did it. I actually did 2 separate clears as opposed to an all missions clear. Mostly just because I don't have the units or the team to do an all missions clear currently. I just don't. And a lot of people probably don't, because this is not an easy trial. The legend difficulty is very, very difficult. But the big one is that party of 5 or less to get the rod. That's particularly difficult. Just because it requires very strong units, very specific team composition in order to do it with a party of 5 or less. If you don't have really strong units, there is a cheese method out there. You may or may not have seen Flip Method's video out there where he demonstrates the cheese method, where you basically just hide for 800 or 900 turns, something like that, and eventually Morgana just kills herself, because after 30 or so turns, Morgana starts dealing like 2 million damage to herself. And so yeah, if you do that for 900 turns or something, eventually Morgana just kills herself. And so that's the cheese method for doing that with a party of 5 or less. It's still fairly heavy on requirements, because you do have to have enough morale fill to keep from ending up with 0% morale, and then Morgana will just kill everybody. And so even the requirements for the cheese method are kind of steep, because you do have to have a lot of morale fill gear. But that's the way to go if you don't have the strong enough team to take it on. So I did a party of 5 or less clear first to get the rod, and then went back for the turn missions. The team I'm going to show you did get it done in 14 turns, and so but to get in less than 10 turns, I required 6 people with a pretty strong friend unit in order to get that under 10 turns personally. So you see, I've only done 7 unique units. I've got a ways to go before I get the rod upgrade, but I'm not stressed about it. I'll get it done eventually. All right, so I'm going to start with the 5-man clear, and then I'll post my 6-man clear video after this one. All right, so here's the team I'm using. It's not too different from other clear strategies you've seen out there, probably. If you've seen Sinzar's clears, from the first few days, it's very similar, and that's because there's not a whole lot of wiggle room for diversity of team compositions on this one. Morgana is weak to fire and light, but if you try to go light on the legend version, light element, she absorbs light on certain turns, and so really you can only go fire on this one. And currently the best unit for that is Roberta, because Morgana also dispels all of her debuffs and imperils every turn. So you have to constantly put up the fire imperil every turn, and Roberta is really good because she's got an on-demand 135% fire imperil that is attached to her AoE imbue with 45% amp, and that's just really nice. I mean, you just can't beat that. And so Roberta is really a VIP or MVP on this particular trial for that. And then You also need an on-demand breaker because, again, the brakes are dispelled every turn, and so that's why Freyevia is here. You could also use Kaito. A lot of people use Kaito on this one, and I'll use Kaito on my 6-man team when I do that video a little bit later. But I'm going to use Freyevia here just to show that Freyevia is a viable unit for this trial. But the most important thing is you want a good magic tank that can take this fight. And Sacred Shield Charlotte can do this one. I haven't seen any videos using her. Most people recommend a magic tank with auto cover. That's really most important if you're going to push both the 50% and 30% threshold in one turn, in the same turn, because then you could potentially get 2 Ghastly Nightmares, which means your tank will most likely die twice and be left dead on the battlefield. And so in that case, you would want a tank that auto covers when you raise them on the following turn. Charlotte, unfortunately, does not have auto cover. So if you're planning on bringing strong units and pushing both those thresholds, do not bring Sacred Shield Charlotte. But for this clear, this one's a little bit slower, Sacred Shield Charlotte should work just fine. But your magic tank does need a few things. I'm going to start with the elemental resists. All right, they need to have 100 across the board at least, and then at least 250 to ice, light, and dark. That's after a buff. That's to take care of the 150% imperil that they are going to get no matter what. Okay, and so let's show how we got that. So Charlotte is actually really good for building these resists because she has very high ice and light resists innately. And if you have her STMR, it gives her an extra 50% to ice and light. Very, very handy, very easy to hit those two. And then you just have to worry about dark and the rest of them. See, I've given her Durandal here. That's because I've also made her my Evade Provoke unit. Okay, so that's why that sword is there. And then the rest of the gear is just elemental resists. I know dark armor is limited, so if you have anything else that just provides decent elemental resists across the board, again, focus being ice, light, and dark, that will do just fine here. Same with Kryla's Veil. If you don't have Kryla because she's a limited unit, I think Luis's Helm also has 20% across the board. Knight's Medals are an easily acquirable STMR from Awakened Rain. We even got a free one in Item World last month, so should have at least one of those. Danger Gets the Blood Pumping is to help cap passive provoke and evasion. Sea Dragon is again for more evasion. Reclaim Serenity is good. That's from last month's Cow, and it gives 60% ice, light, and dark. Winged Heart is there. Great for elemental resists, but also for status ailment resistance. You want to have some good status ailment resists. And then the vision card is, this is Behemi's, King Behemi's vision card. That's just to help her cap her physical evasion. So she's got 100% physical evasion. All right. Elena, Starlight Elena, she's the main DPS here. She is just incredibly good for this fight. Most important thing is to make sure she's got at least 150% dark resist after buffs, and that's for the 50% dark imperil that comes. That's pretty much, I think it's almost like every turn, but there's an unavoidable, or uncoverable fixed magic attack that is dark elemental that will hit the team. So having that dark resist helps mitigate that. All right, and so the rest of it's just good hybrid gear. You know, the best hybrid gear you have. There's Diabolos Synergy for dark resist. Black Eye is there for dark resist. I gave her Fryevia's vision card just because I want her to have the better stats. Hidden Power, of course, this is what makes her such a powerhouse here. Is a huge boost to her chaining abilities, which don't worry about morale. So they are not affected by morale, so you can just keep churning out the damage there. Very useful. She's not doing great on killers, but that's all right. 200% human, 250% fairy. You'll see it still gets the job done. Roberta here, I'm going to start her in their Brave Shift because that's what she's starting in. So Obsidian Bracers for the undispellable preemptive breaks. Treasured Memorial Ring is just here for the 600 morale at the start of battle. Morale is very important for this one. And then just, yeah, well, sorry, we'll get to that. In her normal form, most important thing is dark resist first, all right? And then, yeah, then just, you know, magic and killers. So I think she's 200 to fairy and human. All right, not bad. If you don't have an EX3 Roberta, that's really not necessary here. Roberta's primary purpose is for the support and the fire and peril every turn, which you can get with an EX0 Roberta, okay? So really don't sweat it if you don't have an EX3 Roberta. Kresnik, he's just here for general maintenance. Again, dark resist is important. You know, conductor's batons are there just for morale. I gave him this vision card just to demonstrate how this is a preemptive fire in peril. And again, since it's preemptive, it is undispellable. So that will actually remain on Morgana for 4 turns and will not be dispelled like a normal imperil would be. Built the same in his Brave Shift, nothing different. Yeah, again, just make sure you got the dark resist there. All right, Fry is naked in her normal form. Normal form is useless for this fight. In her Brave Shift form, all right, again, resists are important. And then, yeah, just damage. Okay. Yep, she's 300 human, 175 fairy. Okay, so that's just the best that I can do. Magister's gear for the chain cap up, because she does need some chain cap up gear here. All right. She is the only DPS unit that needs the chain cap up in this fight. Starlight Elena and Roberta are both dual wield units, so they do not need to worry about the chain cap up. So that's kind of helpful for gearing, I guess. All right, let's see how we get this done. Wish me luck. I already did one recording where I died, so hopefully... I think I learned from my mistake. Hopefully I don't wipe on this one. Alright, so Charlotte is basically just going to be on repeat, just doing Night of Nights and Healing Glory. Except for on turn 5, I'll do something a little bit different. Alright. Kresnik is going to start with Arcane Stimulant. You want him building that morale as soon as possible. Roberta is going to do some morale fill. Inferno Breath. And then, oh, sorry. We need to shift to normal. Rousing Roar. Inferno Breath. And then Ignitos' Domain. That's going to get rid of the Imperils. Because you'll notice that Charlotte's looking, yeah, she's looking pretty sad there. That's the 150% all element imperil, thanks to True Omniscience. So let's get rid of that. Inferno Breath and Ignitos' Domain. Alright, so now, yep, back to normal. Awesome. Alright, Starlight Elena is going to start with Celestial Brilliance. Okay. If you don't have an EX3 Selena, then you're not going to have access to this ability. That's okay. It's just for a human killer buff, which will make things go a little bit faster, but it's still clearable without it. So if you don't have it, then just do Stella Maris and double Gemini Blade. But here I'm going to do Celestial Brilliance, Stella Maris, and Gemini Blade. Okay, and Fry is going to do buff, Coupe for the breaks, and Flick for the sword imperil. And then from here on, she's just going to do both of those alternating basically. Always starting with the breaks to make sure you're getting full damage potential there. Flick has the sword imperil on it, which is on demand. It's 30%, I believe. If you're using Kaito, obviously, Kaito does a katana imperil instead of sword imperil, and so you would want to build your Elena for katanas. But I'll show you that when I do my next video with the 6-man clear, because I'll use Kaito in that one and do a katana build Elena. Alright, so Charlotte, she's doing just fine there, avoiding everything. The nice thing is, since she's resisting all the magic attacks, you don't see her countering like a million times, because Charlotte usually, when she's a magic tank, one of the gripes about Charlotte is she just counters for days. And so you don't have to worry about that here. All right, next, Kresnik is going to do Arcane Antioxidant. That is going to set up an auto 60% all element buff every turn. That'll be important for later. All right, Charlotte again. Well, I'm just going to do reload on her. All right, so here we're going to do Rousing Roar. If you didn't have that vision card with the Undispellable Fire in Peril, you see, still got the Fire in Peril there, thanks to that vision card, the leave thanks to me. If you didn't have that, Roberta would need to do Inferno Breath here, but since we've got the Fire and Peril still, I'm going to skip it. I'm going to do Support from the Skies and Mega Breath. Let her go ahead and start doing a little bit of damage here. Alright, now we can just start doing Triple Gemini. Fry is just going to do Coupe, Flick, Coupe. There we go. You can also do Coupe and Double Flick, whatever. They have the exact same damage modifier, so it's not, doesn't really matter. Okay, so we'll start with Roberta to make sure, well actually, no, we don't need to worry about that, do we? Oh yeah, we'll make sure the buffs are in place first, right? Alright, now we can chain, so that Roberta gets a little bit of damage in there with that Mega Breath. Alright, that was pretty decent. Charlotte will just reload and repeat. Oh yeah, almost 300 million. That'll be about the average throughout the fight, probably, is about 300 million. And, you know, Morgana's got, like, I think, over 3 billion HP. So it's going to take a while. Yeah. Don't, you know, I'm not kidding myself here when I say this, you know, this is we're gonna be here a while. All right, so this is the last turn Kresnik is in his Brave Shift form, and it'll be important that we do Arcane Remedy, which is gonna set up the auto stat break resistance, okay, every turn, so we don't get broke, you know, we don't get our stat breaks. It also puts up ailment resistance, which is important if you don't have, you know, innate resistances to things like sleep, confuse, and paralyze. Those are the three that are that Morgana will hit you with if you're not careful. All right, now we'll do Rousing Roar. We still have the Fire in Peril, so we'll just have Roberta do some damage here. You know, if you didn't have that vision card with the Undispellable Fire in Peril, you'd need to do Inferno Breath on this turn and every turn. And after turn 4, we're going to have to do it every turn anyways, so yeah, just keep that in mind. All right. Yeah, we're good to go. Okay. Decent damage there. Feeling pretty good. Oh yeah, almost 350. All right, so it's fairly tame here in the beginning. Things do get a lot hairier and a lot worse, especially below the 30% threshold. That's where you really want to try and clear the fight as quickly as possible. That's where I wiped on the last recording, and yeah, you know, that was like 10 turns in, and I got a wipe, and I'm like, oh crap, I got to record all over again. That was fun. All right, so Kresnik is going to start basically an auto repeat mode here. Just doing these 3. All right, so that does some healing. It gets rid of any imperils, and it puts up ailment resistance, and all of those come with morale fill. All right, so that's pretty important. All right, we're gonna continue with some morale fill here. We should still have Let me double check. Why aren't you letting me see the boss? There it is. Yep, so we've still got, this is the last turn that the fire resistance buff, or imperil, will be in place. So next turn we're going to have to start doing Inferno Breath every turn. Alright, so I'm just going to reload, repeat everybody else, because I think that was, yeah. Mystic Breath, yeah. Okay, here we go. Cool. Alright, our damage is getting a little bit better thanks to having slightly higher morale. I think I topped out at about 140% morale on the last run, and it usually kind of hangs around between 130 and 140, because after 50%, Morgana starts buffing her own morale. Okay, this turn's just a little bit different for Charlotte, just because we're gonna get that that unavoidable dark magic. There is a way to so here's what's gonna happen. All right, Morgana's gonna start with 150% all element imperil, and then do that dark magic attack, which really sucks. Just that, you know, just bad timing, right? Because it happens to line up with the turn that she does True Omniscience. If you don't do any damage to Morgana this turn, she won't do that imperil, and so that's one way to get around that. But yeah, I mean, every turn you're not doing damage to Morgana is a turn wasted, because Morgana starts putting up huge buffs the longer the fight goes, and by turn 20. She's putting up like a 300% undispellable defense spirit buff every turn, and it's insane, because then she has like 300,000 passive defense and spirit. So a 300% buff, you're looking at close to 1 million defense and spirit, and it just becomes a real slog then. Okay, so just keep that in mind. So we're gonna do that Light of Grand Shelt to put up some magic mitigation for everybody. Alright, hopefully that'll help. I'm not sure that it'll necessarily help, but since it is a fixed attack, sometimes those don't. But I think since it's magic, it should still help here. Alright, now we need to start doing Inferno Breath again. Okay, and then Mega Breath, just to re-up Roberta's quad cast, because we're gonna, when we get closer to the 50% threshold, Roberta's going to start doing more serious damage to help us, push through the fight quicker. All right, and I think we have one more turn on Celestial Brilliance. Yep. So we're just going to do 3 more Gemini Blades. Again, just auto repeat here, basically. All right. So you got to wait for Inferno Breath to activate before you start Fry and Elena, all right, to make sure that the imperils are in place. All right, so next turn, assuming we all survive this, which we should. Okay, yeah, so that magic didn't really help, but no one's ever died on this one. Everyone guts is out usually, and so yeah, so it's never been an issue as long as you build the team the way I have here. I was hoping that might help. That's not where I wiped last time, by the way. That's not... Alright, so if you have Celestial Brilliance, you would re-up it this turn for the Human Killer buff, and then double Gemini, just to sort of match up with that. Fry's going to do Unguard, Coupe Flick. Alright, Roberta is Rousing Roar, Inferno, and Mystic Breath. We're going to hold on to that Ignitas's Domain, because that could be helpful later on. Alright, this should not push the threshold, if I'm being careful. Okay, I do not want to push the threshold on this turn. Alright, Knight of Knights and Healing Glory again. Alright, so now that gets rid of all the imperils. Yep, we're all should be good to go again. Okay, so Rousing Roar, Inferno Breath, Mystic Breath. Again, I don't want to do too much damage here, so I want to get as close to 50% as possible without actually going over 50%. So 54 is good. You know, I like to be in like 53, 54, 55, you know, any of those are good. Because we're usually doing, you know, around 10% on a, you know, on a big damage turn. So you can see our morale's been pushed down quite a bit. That's thanks to True Omniscience 5. That's that skill that does the all element in peril. It also gives Morgana a hefty morale boost. Again, you can avoid that by just doing damage 4 turns and then skipping the 5th turn, but it has to be 5 consecutive turns to activate that. Alright, so here is where we'll do something slightly different with Kresnik, Medical Mastery. That's to apply the re-raise on everybody, including Charlotte. And then, yeah, we'll just do, make sure we're removing imperils, all that jazz. Do note that this Resurging Will is available every single turn. Morgana will start doing some MP drains later on, and this skill will save your life. You can't tell me how many times I did this fight and forgot that this skill was there and that it is available every single turn. Because there are some turns where your whole team has 0 MP later on, and I was like, oh, well, I quit the fight because I was like, well, I can't do anything. She's gonna kill me next turn. And I totally forgot that this skill was here. So don't forget, I'm gonna use it now and then show you that it's available again next turn. So that reloads every single turn. Very, very useful. All right. So now we want to do some serious damage to make sure we're pushing through that threshold and well into threshold territory. All right. So again, Roberta must start for the Imperil, followed quickly by Fry and Elena to chain it up here, okay? So, boom. All right. Yeah, damage is already suffering. That's all right. Okay, so we pushed the threshold. All right, there we go. Charlotte dies. Ouch. But she should be resistant to everything from here on out. Since she re-raises, she's right back in the cover slot. If she were to die twice, that's the problem. Because if you raise her after she's dead, she does not have auto cover. But she shouldn't die twice unless you pass both thresholds in one turn, and then you can potentially get 2 Ghastly Nightmares, and that's a problem. All right, Night of Nights and Healing Glory. Oh, sorry. Nope. So this is where things change for Charlotte. Sorry, because I want her on basically reload repeat, so I don't have to worry about her. She'll do her cover, and then she actually has an on-demand self re-raise. That's Knight's Voice. So those 2 abilities are going to be on reload repeat for Charlotte. Kresnik is just going to again do these 3 abilities on reload repeat. That's just to try and maintain morale throughout the rest of the fight. All right, and Roberta, okay, she is going to, we're going to hold on to, all right, we're just going to try and push through, try and get as much damage in as we can here, as quickly as possible. And then once we get close to the 30% threshold, we will we'll do something a little bit different for that. I might even do a turn of no damage to avoid True Omniscience, because that is one place, if you cross the 30% threshold on turn 10, that's where I got wiped last time, and that's the problem, because Sacred Shield Charlotte died twice due to the 150% all element in peril happening after the Ghastly Nightmare. So she got Ghastly Nightmared, and then all element in peril after she re-raised, and then a bunch of elemental attacks wiped her out. So I'm going to try to avoid that this time if I can help it. Either by pushing the threshold on a different turn, or something. I'll figure it out. Okay. All right. So Kresnik, I just want to make sure. Yep, he's still good here. Cool. All right. Ready and go. Yeah, man, that damage is going down fast. All right, so here we're coming up on the 30% threshold. I'm going to try not to push it on this turn, just because I really don't want to if I can help it. So what we're going to do is we're going to do Rousing Roar for some morale, Inferno Breath, of course, got to do that every turn, and then Support from the Skies for a buff and to re-up our Mirage stacks on the rest of the team. Because you'll notice every now and then there's an AoE hybrid attack that avoids cover. And you'll notice that the team is evading those thanks to the Mirage stacks. All right. Oh no, she's still on reload repeat here. Okay. So yeah, everyone should be on reload repeat here. And this shouldn't push the 30% threshold. I'm really hoping I don't hit 30% on here. I'm hoping I'm in like 31 or 32. Because I want to push the. I mean, not that it would be a bad thing to push the threshold on this turn, but yeah, I'm really trying to not pile up too many things on one turn. And so next turn, I think I'm actually not even going to do any damage, but we'll see. Who knows? I might hit 30% on this turn, and that would be okay. That would be okay if I hit 30% on this turn. All right, 32. That's fine. That is fine. Alright, so here's where I got in trouble last time. Alright, we're on turn 10, which means if I hit her again, she'll do the 150% all element imperil. And we're going to cross the threshold no matter what, which means we're pretty much guaranteed to die. So everyone can reload and repeat here. The only difference will be we'll just do this stuff just for fun. Yeah, it doesn't really matter here. Let's do, yeah, how about that? Defense and Spirit. All right, now our damage dealers, we gotta, for those, we're just gonna do some buffs, okay? So I'll do Stella Maris and Azure Key here, okay? Pretty sure that doesn't do any damage, right? Tell me it doesn't do any damage. Yeah, it just strengthens her physical abilities. Cool. All right, so hopefully, if this works, I'm also just going to do this just for fun. All right, if this works like it's supposed to, then she should not do the all element imperil on this turn. All right, so we're going to find out. Here we go. All right. All right, so we've done no damage to Morgana here. All right, yep, no true omniscience. Perfect, yep. All right, I think I'm good. Oh gosh, okay. That's where I screwed up last time, big time. Okay, all right, now we're gonna push the 30% threshold, which means Charlotte is definitely going to die. There's nothing we can do about that. It's gonna happen. We might as well get our last will and testament ready, but she will re-raise, so that shouldn't be a problem. What I have done in previous clears is actually shifted Kresnik at this point to re-up the the bigger elemental imperils, but I don't think I'm going to need to do that this time. So what we can do now is, all right, again, a big push. We're going to do a big push here for damage. All right. Oh, Celestial Brilliance. Yeah, that's all right. I'm not going to sweat that too much. I'll re-up the Celestial Brilliance next turn. Okay. So, all right. So Roberta goes first, followed by Fry and Elena. Okay. Oh my god, yeah. So you see on turn 10, she ups her she ups those buffs. There's Ghastly Nightmare. Ouch. All right. That was a fixed HP damage attack there. It never does enough to kill anybody, so you don't have to worry about that 10,000 fixed damage. All right, so everybody should be good. I'm pretty sure. Yep. All right, everyone is still good. All right, so here's what we're gonna do here. All right, we've got Medical Mastery again. We're gonna go ahead and put that back up. Definitely Medical Potion and the Antioxidant to get rid of any imperils. All right, so that's Krusnik's job. And yeah, Charlotte is gonna, again, reload, repeat. Let's see, everyone should still have all their buffs up. All right, Elena. We're gonna do Celestial Brilliance now because we need that Human Killer buff to finish out the fight. And just to match up with that, we'll just do the buffs here. All right, Roberta. Since this is kind of a setup turn anyways, we will just do some more morale fill. Actually, well, you know what? You know, we're trying to get this done. So let's just do Inferno Breath and 3 Mystics. Might as well, okay? Might as well get this one done. Okay. Yep. Cool boy. All right. I'm hoping I can finish this by turn 15. Or else we're going to have to skip doing any damage again to avoid the true Omniscience. All right. Because we definitely don't want... Ooh, ouch. That's right, because... Well, actually, hold on. Why did Elena die there? I'm not even sure how that happened, to be honest with you. That kind of sucks. Like I said, below 30%, things get hairy, and I honestly, there's no telling what happened there. But again, that's why you put AoE re-raise on everybody, right? Alright, that means our Human Killer buff's gone, which kind of sucks, but that's alright. We're going to push on through, and we are just going to try and get this done. Alright, if you want, you can put re-raise on Elena just to make sure that she's all good. And then we'll do that one there. Alright? Don't forget, this is always available if you need MP for any reason. Okay. Alright. Oh man, I don't know if I'm going to get this done by turn 15. We're going to find out. Man, she keeps getting. Oh, you know what? Is it because Kresnik's not doing the all-element buff? I'll tell you what I'm going to do. All right, I'm actually going to shift Kresnik here. I think this is what I did. I think this is what I ended up having to do last time, yeah, if I remember correctly. I shifted him and then did the Arcane Antioxidant again, because that puts up the 80% all-element buff, which could, potentially be helpful there. So I'm going to do that, and I think that should help us finish out the fight without Elena dying again. She does have re-raise, so it's not a problem if she does, but I'd rather her not if I can help it. Because things are going to start getting hairier and hairier the longer this fight goes, so you really want to try and get it done quickly. So I'm going to do that. Yeah, because I think that's, yeah, see, she's got 95%. Yeah, that's the problem, isn't it? So I need the stronger buff here at this point. Okay, I'm figuring this out as I go here, guys. Bear with me. Okay, let me just, and again, HP, MP, try and use it every turn if you can. All right, so that should make sure that she's buffed, yeah, well above what she needs there now. Okay. All right, and again, we're pushing on through. All right, here's to pushing on through, right? Okay. See how much we do here. All right. It should only take 2 more damage turns to finish this one out, I think. So I'm actually going to skip doing any damage next turn, again, to avoid that, that huge imperil. Because you really don't want Charlotte to die. All right? Really don't want that to happen. So while I could try to push on through here, Charlotte would be in big trouble, I think, if I did. Let me actually just check her resistances. So yeah, if she took a 150 hit, some of those elements might do damage. You see, like water and earth. Everything else besides water and earth would actually still get resisted. No, sorry, never mind. It's 150, never mind. Yeah, no. We definitely don't want to push that this turn. All right, so forget I said anything. All right, so you see HP and MP are an issue here. No big deal. Here, we're going to, again, we want to make sure we're not getting any attack mag breaks. I don't think she does. I think the only thing she does is a spirit break, and that's on true omniscience. So if we're not going to proc that, I'm not going to worry about it. I could do some, just some quick morale fill here, or I do some more healing. Do we really need the healing though? Not really. Unless we get that hybrid fix attack. All right, let's go ahead and just do some healing. Put that morale. All right, I'm not worried about it. I'm not going to worry about the morale. I'll have and dear God, just make sure we're not doing any damage here. Whoops, sorry. All right, Rousing Roar, Inferno support. All right, we'll just do Polaris, because that doesn't do any damage. Dear gods, let me check, make sure. Yep, okay. All right, so yeah, she'll do Polaris. Make sure nobody does any damage of any kind here. All right, so again, we're not going to hit the boss at all to avoid that big imperil. We We should all survive this without any issue. Yeah, we're resisting the uncoverable dark magic. That fixed hybrid attack, if it does come through, we should Mirage, thanks to Roberta. If it does hit, it only does 10,000 HP, so not stressing about it. All right, so you see she's really starting to crank up her morale generation here, so our morale is slowly going down. All right, so here's, this isn't a bad opportunity for our Kresnik to just do some plain old morale fill. He can't switch into his normal form anyways. And so, you know, this will hopefully help. Like I said, we should be able to push through this in 2 turns, because we are just gonna power through here. And try and get this done, right? Okay, here we go. I said I might get it done in 2 turns. Oh man, it might take longer. All right, we're gonna find out. We just gotta hold out a few more turns here. I don't want to hit turn 20. Whew, you see our damage is absolutely dreadful. When we hit turn 20, that'll go down to like half that amount probably. And, you know, not to say that you can't go past 20 turns. I mean, if you follow this strategy and you just make sure that every 5th turn you do no damage to avoid the imperils, you know, you can take as long as you want to just chip away at it. It's just going to get much... after turn 20, it's just the damage goes down significantly. So you're literally just chipping away at her. So just remember to only... you know, do 4 turns of damage followed by 1 turn of no damage to avoid the big imperils. All right, so yeah, here we're just going to push through. Kresnik's back in normal. Let's do Medical Mastery as a safety net. Remove imperils, boost your ailment resistance. Okay, Charlotte's just going to reload, repeat. Everyone else, all right, we're just going to power through here, guys. All right, hopefully I get it done on this turn, but I should definitely get it done next turn. Oh man, are you kidding me? All right, you got to suffer through hearing me talk for 1 more turn here, guys. But yeah, as you can see, all of this stuff is pretty standard at this point, and so you should be good to go. You may want to, if you're planning on taking much longer, my recommendation would be, because does she have it? Okay. My recommendation would be to put a little bit more dark resist on Elena, because you saw that she had, at one point she only had 95% dark resist, which is why she was dying, or why she was taking damage. And so I would recommend putting a little more dark resist on your Elena. I think I only had her at 110 innately. I thought it was only a 50% imperil, which means she should have been fine, but yeah, I don't know. Maybe there might be something different. I'll have to check the AI on that. Okay. So, yep. We're gonna finish it. Oh, hey, MP, where are you? There you are. Okay, we're just gonna finish it up here. Shouldn't be a problem. All right, God forbid something goes wrong. Maybe I screw up my chain or something like that. All right, this should be it. Let's finish it up. All right. I would say too easy, but yeah, it's not too easy, that's for sure. Not with a 5-man team if your units and gear aren't super strong. And I mean, I would say I've got pretty decent units and gear for this fight, and it's still not easy. All right, so yeah, just keep that in mind, y'all. All right, let's see the damage spread. Ooh. Yeah, Elena doing most of that one right there. So yeah, you see just how much damage it took to kill her, and that's, you know, that right there is over, what is that? That's over 3 billion, right? Over 3 billion damage right there just to kill the boss. I think it's like maybe 3.2 or something is her total HP. So yeah, it's a slog. All right, but that's how I got it done. Stay tuned. I'll do a video with a 6-man clear, just to show a slightly different variation on how to get this one done. All right, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Hope it was helpful to you. A shout out to all my forum peeps. A lot of you guys have found us. You know, we've reconnected on the Brave Exvius Discord. So I'm glad you guys have, you know, we sort of found our way. We're rebuilding our home. I do want to let you guys know I'm also working on my own personal Discord server that's going to kind of be, you know, more just for, you know, at the moment it's just going to be for my own personal use. Eventually I'll open it up to more geared towards like the you guys that are watching on YouTube. So stay tuned for more information on that. I'll let you guys know when I'm going to open up that Discord server for this this YouTube channel. Because now that I don't have a forum to manage, you know, I've got a little bit more free time to do that. So stay tuned. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you on the other side.